Hey guys, what's up? JoZ back here again with another Vikings video. This time we're going to take a little bit of a break. And we're going to talk about the one thing scarier than the Vikings defense.
Math.
Yes, math is a scary thing for a lot of people, but this time we're going to use it to help us out in these football rankings. Now, I know a lot of you love power rankings because it's one analyst telling you what the best teams are, but I don't like them because any old idiot can give you their list of the top 8 teams left in the playoffs. And to prove that, here's mine. So, number 8, the Titans, they're pretty bad. I don't know how they advanced. 7, the Eagles, probably the worst first seed in a long time. The 6, the Jaguars, a very good defense, but they have Blake Bortles. 5, Falcons, a team that really struggled early in the year with their coaching changes, but has turned it on as of late. 4, Saints, have one of the best, maybe the best offense in the playoffs, but their defense is kind of average. 3, Steelers, very, very good balanced team all the way around. 2, the Vikings, the best defense in the playoffs and a very solid offense to boot. And 1, probably the number 1 in the power rankings for the playoffs for the last 10 years, Patriots. Tom Brady, there you go. But these are just an opinion based off nothing, based off what I feel they are. So let's talk about and see what math would say to who's actually the best. So the way I did this, I took and looked at each team's individual ranking and made it a score of 8, as you see on the screen right there. The only thing I did you'll see the points, I did a ×2 multiplier there because points is the most important thing, and the other things add into it as well. So starting off with the number 1 offense according to my system is the Saints. They're second overall in the playoff teams as points. Their rushing is 5, so they're right around average. 6 is towards the top. 8, they have the number 1 the offensive line as far as blocking for it, giving up sacks. It gives them an offensive total of 33. Now those numbers at the end, the total is kind of arbitrary, but it makes them number 1 and gives them number 1 score. Number 2, the Patriots. The number 1 scoring offense in playoffs is 16. 4 is rushing, they're right at average. Passing is number 1. Sacks is pretty low, it's 3rd, it's pretty poor. And the Steelers is the last one we'll really cover in depth. And they're right in the middle as far as points at 5. Rushing, they're very low at 2. Very interesting. They have Le'Veon Bell, but they're number 2. They're second to the Patriots at 7 for passing, 7, and they're again right under the Saints, giving up sacks. It gives them a total of 26 points, but tied with 26, and this one's very surprising to me, are the Jaguars, having 12, so they have 6, so they're just a couple away from the number 1 as far as scoring points. This is the number 1 rushing team in the playoffs, and I believe overall in the NFL as well. The thing that they're really bad at is they're the second to worst team passing the ball. They're right in the middle of the pack as far as giving up sacks, because it gives them also a score of 26. So the Jaguars, all of a sudden, the 3rd best offense, and you know they're pretty solid on defense. So talking about defense, we'll finish off the offense quick. Remaining, the Vikings right after the Jaguars, and the Eagles, Falcons, and the Titans are god-awful. And let's look at the Packers, lol, because they didn't make it, because they suck. Okay, next on the list, we're going to talk about defense. Of course. And of course, the number 1 defense in the playoffs are the Vikings. The number 1 as far as giving up points. They're second as far as pass yards, so that's 7. Number 1 in run yards is 7 as well. This is interesting here. They are actually the worst team in the playoffs as far as getting sacks, which is very interesting, but they still edge out the number 1 spot on defense at 31 points. Number 2, the Jaguars. They are the 2nd best team as far as giving up points. Number 1 in pass yards, the last in rush yards, and they are the 2nd best as far as getting sacks, so they're at 30. The Steelers are right in the middle of the pack as far as giving up points, but they're very solid at giving up low pass yards, right in the middle as far as rush yards, but they're number 1 in sacks. So very dynamic defense. Remaining on the list, the Eagles, Falcons, Saints, Titans, and Patriots. So now that we have that listing, let's compile this and combine both the numbers and talk about where these teams rank overall according to my metrics. So 8th would be the Titans. They're still just as bad as what we thought in the power rankings. Number 7, the Falcons. Even though their team came up hot later in the year, it still didn't help them out overall in these rankings. 3rd, the Eagles. I gave them a little bit of a bump on the offensive side, losing Wentz. So this is one time I went away for a little bit of the rankings, but even with that, they're towards the last. Right in the middle, this one's very surprising for me. Fourth, the Patriots. Maybe they aren't that good. Their defense kind of lets them down. The Saints are after them. Third, the Steelers. Number 2, still the Vikings. Number 1, you won't believe this, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're number 1 according to the math. 56 points. The next closest is the Vikings at 53. So it's very close. But let's go to these. Now that we have these scores, the only way you can really use them to have some meaning, let's go to the matchups. So starting off in the divisional round, just for some arbitrary number to throw out there, let's say home field advantage is a +5 as far as the rankings I have, and then so we can give that to the home team. So go to the Eagles with the +5. They're at 49. The Falcons are at 37. So the Eagles will beat the Falcons. And now to their other game in the NFC, the Vikings versus Saints. The Vikings 58. Saints 49. These aren't scores, by the way. These are their rankings. So the Vikings win there. The Titans have 21, Patriots 53, should be an absolute blowout. Jaguars 56 with the boost. The Steelers go to 57, so since the Steelers have the home field advantage, they beat the Jaguars by just a little bit. The NFC Championship, the Vikings 53, Eagles 49, and we edge the Eagles at home. The AFC Championship, Steelers 52, Patriots 53, yet another very close one. Patriots advance. Next, Super Bowl, where the Vikings have the home field advantage, and this is what will push them over all the way. Patriots 48, Vikings 58, and we win. So now, this is how math says about this. What do you guys think about this? Now, of course, these matchups, these numbers are arbitrary, and at the end of the day, this is just a probability listing, and when the closer these numbers are, the more of a flip of a coin it is, more of a 50-50 shot, or if it's a bigger spread, you can kind of bet on that team winning, right? But this is where we have it. So this is my list. Give me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Share this all over if you found it helpful, and we'll see you guys in the next JOZ Vikings video. See ya.